want to come here? You want to come? Hi. You want to come? Want to say hi? Come on. I'm trying to get him to come to me. Come on. Hi. Hello. Hello. Okay. Hello. Poor Fiorina. Yeah, I know. I don't know if it's the system, if it's me. No matter how early I try to get in, I mean, the earlier I try to log in, the more problems I encounter. So today I thought I was all set. I was just waiting for the time to connect, and then everything was all set. So for 3:59, sorry, 3:58, I started connecting. Everything crashed. So I had to try and just restart just the platform that I'm using. Did not work. Tried it twice. I decided, okay, I'm gonna have to restart the entire system, like my computer, whatever. I'm not sure if it is me, if it is my computer. I don't know. Okay. Hello, everybody. Okay, let me say hi to everybody. 1 second. Trying to find a comfortable spot for you, baby. Okay. Hello. Let's try to be in the middle. 1 second. Okay, 1 second. Echo 7. Is this better? Is the sound better now? Yeah, he's here. Is the sound better now? Yes. Okay, perfect. All right. Let me say hi to everyone. Rob, Nadira, Hanako, Grace, Robin, Amy. Are you talking about the Shining Awards? Carla Girl, OSP, Amy C, Sarah, Emily, Genesis, Maritz, Jax, Leah, I Carmi, Don Marie, Lisa Parker, Silver Star, Nadira, A Brown, Simply JJ, Iris, Carol Faye, Pia, Leah Warburton, Christy, Nigma Price, Carol, Jax, A Brown, Gemini, Antoinette, Nikon Lady, Shelling, Miriam, Lisa, Rebecca, IMGG, Susan Susan Maki, sorry. Susan Maki, I'm so sorry. I butchered your name. I'm so sorry. Nikon Lady, Andy Big Night, Arlene, Shelling, Carol Faye, Hanako Grace, Michelle Santiago, Jax, hello,
um, Alina, Portia, Dodger Girl is on Twitch. A Brown, Juveline, Robin Bryce, Jolie A Brown, Just Missy DV, Rachel Loftus, Reg Pear, Susan McKee, Norwegian Wood CC, Lena XCQ, Letitia, Leah Warper, and Reg Pear, Lifelong AT53, Alta 444, Bangy Luna. Okay. Hi, everybody. Okay. So, again, sorry, I tried my best to be on time, but the earlier I try to get in, the more problems that I encounter. Okay. Um, so there is one slide that wouldn't upload. I was able to upload it earlier, and then when everything crashed, I was trying to re-upload everything. I couldn't, but I will try to talk through it because it's pretty important. Um, let us talk about the Arirang the live there is a live viewing for Buenos Aires, which is going to be on October 24th. Just in case you want to try to get some tickets. All right, let's do Fashion Week first. Why don't we do Fashion Week so that we start with something good? Hopefully something educational so that you guys can learn something. And then let's try to talk about BTS updates. And then we're going to try and talk about we're going to talk about some problems that's happening in K-pop right now, but it involves BTS. And then we'll talk about BTS updates. And then we're gonna do emotional support picks. How's that? Yes, box score, that's in the one of the presentations. But yes, they broke Rolling Stone's record. Okay. Um let's do Fashion Week first. All right, let's do Fashion Week first. So, three of the members actually attended the male Fashion Week. Just want to level off everybody's expectations. So, the fashion world is really dominated by women. It's really an industry for women. Um, and so don't expect the same numbers in as the women's fashion week because it's just a different kind of audience. So three of the members actually managed to attend. You have J Hope, Jimin, and V. So J Hope for Louis V, Jimin for Dior, and V for Celine. Okay. Okay, so just a little bit of a historical perspective. The very first fashion week was actually in New York, and it happened just after the World War, or during the World War. It was in the 1940s. This is a picture of the very first fashion week. Um, and I know that it's kind of odd because the fashion capital of the world is supposedly in Paris, but the very first fashion week happened in New York. And originally, it happened because during the war, the American editors and buyers really couldn't access anything from Europe. So they had to do something about it. Up until then, they were heavily reliant on Europe for anything, for fashion trends, for fashion supplies, for things to buy and sell in the US. Everything had to come from not had to, but everything came from Europe. Because of the war, that changed everything. They couldn't do anything. So during the war, they decided they were going to do Fashion Week in New York itself. So I kind of can't remember her name. Let me try and see if I can remember. So she was the very first person who actually came up with the idea of doing Fashion Week. Let me see if I can remember her name. It's here somewhere in my notes. Eleanor Lambert. Eleanor Lambert is her name. So that's her. That's her picture. So she thought, why not just create their own in New York at that time. She was at that time she was writing the best dressed list for the Coty Fashion Critics Award that later became the CFDA Awards. And she was also the first one to organize the Met Ball, which is the Met, the Met that we know now. Okay, so she was the one who organized that. So she said, well, I'm doing all of these things. We don't have access to Paris. Might as well create our own. So in 1943, it was actually called the Press Week. And it was called the Press Week because only the press was actually invited. And what was even more impressive at that time was that she actually decided to pay the reporters to attend the fashion week because it wasn't supposed to be it was the first time. So no one was really interested in what she was doing. At that time, people were still looking at Paris as the premier or the fashion capital of the world. So no one was really expressing any kind of intention to attend the fashion week that she was organizing. To solve that, she decided she was going to pay all the reporters for them to attend. So there were really not a lot of people there. So just like I guess, 30 press people. And that's from all over the US, from New York to California. Okay, so all of those people, they were all paid, and their job is to simply write about the fashion week. Now, for the buyers, which actually is the one that makes the money, because they're the ones that will be putting forward the orders to the house, they had to separately schedule their visit for them to see the collection. But the fashion week itself, it was really just for the press. So originally, it was called the Fashion Press Week. Okay. Now, right around Ruth Finley, which became the editor of the Fashion Week, initially when she organized it, it was the succeeding years. They would just ask the different labels to put together their own show. There wasn't really any kind of schedule. They would just tell them like, okay, just organize your own show. We'll promote you. We'll invite reporters and all of those stuff. Now she overheard her Ruth Finley overheard two reporters who were so frustrated because there were two shows they wanted to attend and they were happening at the same time. So and then she heard another two more people talking about the conflict of schedule because one it was right after the other but they were too far apart, so they didn't have a choice but to choose one because they were like very too close to each other. And so right around 1947, about 3 to 4 years after they started organizing the press week, now known as the fashion week, she realized that she actually had to create a calendar. So the calendar would be the time slots where the fashion houses will be doing their shows. And then it's organized in a way so that in between the shows there is enough time for people to move around from one place to the other. And she also planned it so that one location wouldn't be so far from the other location. Okay, so she made that available and she initially called it the pink calendar. And then fashion houses would just choose the time slot that they will be taking. So it's about one show, it's about 15 minutes, 15 to 16, 17 minutes, but usually no more than that. So that the idea is that there is enough spot in between the shows to allow people to move around. So right now that the calendar that she created is still being used and I think they call it the pink calendar now. But it's just a calendar and they just call it the pink calendar because that's how she called it. Okay. So as you can see, as early as then, women have always been the movers when it comes to the fashion industry. And in many houses, executives actually are women. So usually the creative side, those are the jobs that are reserved for men, which is kind of the other way around, usually in other industry. But anyway, so the creative side, it's usually the men. and then women are the ones that are holding the executive level positions. Okay, so after that, um the when they started organizing the schedule of the fashion week, that's when it became bigger and bigger. They realized that it was because they're allowing more people to attend more shows. So if you're coming from California going to New York, you're really not wasting your time just attending 5 fashion shows, because then you can attend 20 or 30 shows or any number of shows that you want, for as long as your stamina will actually hold. So it goes from afternoon all the way until the evening. So in about like 3 to 4 years from this room, this is the first fashion week, press week. From this room, they expanded to something like this. Okay. So I'm surprised the Fashion Week was founded during World War II. Well, yeah. I was also surprised when I found that out. But also, to a certain degree, I don't know if you know this. This is not really. I was gonna say I digress, but it's kind of like connected. I don't know if you know this, but the beauty industry is actually the most profitable during an economic downturn. So anything about beauty, although most specifically the lipstick, and we call it the lipstick economy. During any kind of economic disaster, when there is a crash, even during famine, lipstick, the sales of lipstick would skyrocket. And the psychology, yeah, the lipstick effect, yeah, the psychology is that when you are feeling down, when you have absolutely nothing, your tendency is to look for ways on how to make yourself feel better, right? And because during an economic downturn, you really don't have a lot of money to spend. So your tendency is to go to the cheapest luxury you can afford. And lipsticks are usually cheaper, right? You can buy something for like less than $5. So women would go and buy lipstick to make themselves feel better. So the beauty industry, fashion, the beauty industry, um, so it is surprising, but not really, because that's where people go during that time. Um, I do remember. So I think you guys know that I wrote speeches for the former president of my former country, I guess, still my country, the Philippines. So I was writing. I used to write speeches for the president, and one time we actually met with a former first lady of the Philippines, and we were having dinner with her, and she was just like talking. She's a very, you can see why she became the first lady of the Philippines, because she's very charismatic and she's beautiful. Oh my god, like how she's just gorgeous, not gorgeous but beautiful. Not even pretty but beautiful, like there's elegance in her beauty. When you look at her, especially when she was younger, and not, of course, she's older now, but when she was younger, when you look at her, like you can't pull your eyes away from her because she's just like beautiful, very classy, that kind of beauty. And she's tall and the ways that she walks. And okay. So one of the when we were having dinner, she actually said, like, you know, there is something, she was talking about poverty. And she said, there is something more important than food in people's lives. And that was like unheard of for me. There's something more important than food, water, I don't know, sleep. So anyway, she was like, no, there's really something more important than, I did not say that, by the way. I was just in my head, I was like, there's something more important than food. Like, what is it? Like water, sleep. Um, so she said, and then she looked at us and she was like, can you guess what it is? And we were like, no. So just what's more important than food? And we were all shaking our heads. And she said, beauty. And I thought, like, thank God I had self control because I almost laughed. Um, and thank God I didn't have anything in my mouth or whatever to spit it out or whatever. But and I was like, what kind of stupid concept is that? Anyway, she said, she eventually explained herself, and she said that for as long as people have dignity, like they can bear that. than not having. They can bear that. They can bear having no food for as long as they have dignity. And I was like, well, sure, to a certain extent. Okay. Anyway, let's go back to Fashion Week. Now there are some questions. Some of you have actually sent me some questions. Can the public buy ticket? Okay, so sorry, I fast tracked this part. So after this, right after the war, because the New York Fashion Week actually slowly expanded, the eventually Milan started creating their own that was patterned after how New York was actually doing it. So initially, the fashion week, the fashion shows that they were doing in Paris or whatever, they didn't actually have like a dedicated fashion week. It would just be whenever the fashion house would actually want to do theirs, and then reporters will come or whatever. And then after the war, when Milan actually saw New York was happening, what New York was doing, they decided to copy it. So that's how the Milan, Paris, and New York Fashion Week started happening because of that. Okay, so now can now you when you look at the Fashion Week, you can see different people that are attending the Fashion Week, but all of those are invited. Before, it was really the press, and then eventually the press and the buyers. So the fashion buyers are the people that are actually buying stuff for retail stores, for whatever. But now the they are all by invitation. So even if you are a buyer of a retail industry, if you don't have an invitation, you can't go. So everything is strictly by invitation. You can't buy it. There are some smaller fashion weeks in different locations that would actually sell their tickets, limited number of tickets to the public. That is not common, especially for luxury houses. They don't allow that, and especially for the flagship, which is New York, Paris, and Milan. They won't allow selling of tickets. Okay, why do houses then do a show? It's really now for media. It's really for publicity, for marketing, and that's why brand ambassadors are very, very important. It used to be for buyers, not anymore. Buyers still attend, but they are there primarily just as so they can see which one is creating a buzz, which label actually has the biggest response or the best response in the audience, but not necessarily because they're buying on the spot. Buyers would have a separate meeting with the label, with the fashion house, and that's when they're going to be looking at the collection. But even before that, I know all of these things because I've worked with a buyer. So one of the first jobs that I had here in the US was for a manufacturing company, and we were manufacturing clothes. And then eventually the owner of the company decided to create their own line. um, and that's how we started working with buyers. So the standard practice is that, so they used to have like printed materials of all the clothing. Not anymore. So they have a dedicated login. We'll create a system for them. They have a dedicated login, and then they will choose the clothing, the pieces that they want to buy. So us, as the one who manufacture all of those clothes, will have to do our own. Like, we will do photo shoots, videos, um, and then make sure that we upload it in time. So they are usually 2 seasons ahead. So if they are doing summer, for example, now is summer, they've shopped everything that they are selling right now 2 seasons before. So that would be like summer, winter. Before the winter is when they started, when we have finished all the things that we need to finish, including uploading everything and giving them access to the new line. Okay, so it used to be for the buyers, not anymore. Okay. Um, it is now primarily for marketing because they want to get their names out there, they want to get their looks out there. And that's why brand ambassadors and influencers are actually center. They're the most important people in the show. Okay. Hi, Elazar. Now, a lot of people actually asked how much does it cost for a fashion show. So, if you would remember, I did the Asian Fashion Week in New York, and they said that it could cost for that one, and it's a smaller one. It's a smaller show. It could actually cost them anywhere between 200,000 to 100,000 to 700,000. Okay, and that's a smaller one, right? That's a smaller one. So this one for big fashion houses, it could actually go up to 1.5 million for one show. And they don't get it. There is no immediate return for them. It's really just, you can think of it as marketing. Like when you publish, um, when you pay for PR, there is no immediate return. It's something like that. There is no immediate return for them. So it could cost anywhere for a 10 to 15-minute show, it can cost them anywhere between 200,000 to 1 million or even 1.5 million. This article is about 3 years old. So they measure it two ways. You've heard of this. I've actually extensively created a video on this. They measure it two ways: MIV, media impact value; EMV, earned media value. Okay. So for the media impact value, the EMV first, because this is old the oldest way of actually measuring the impact of something like this, of a fashion show or any kind of marketing event. Essentially, the question is, how much money did we save on traditional advertising? Because that's how they usually advertise, and this is a replacement for advertising. So, for example, you want to go down? You want to go down? You want to stay there? Okay. So, for example, you say hi. Say hi, hi. Okay. So the earned media value um, is basically, it's the oldest measure that they use, and it treats organic content as substitute for paid ads. That's the best way of thinking about it. So in other words, for example, um, this is posted by J Hope in his Instagram. The question that they will ask is, if we did this as a paid ad, meaning we're going to be paying him to post this, do the photo shoot and all of those stuff, how much is it going to cost us? So you're gonna have to pay him, for example, for J Hope, you're gonna have to pay him what, a certain amount for him to post it on his Instagram, which is a very personal platform for them, and then give him the clothing, do the photo shoot, how much, and then the placement itself, how much is that gonna cost? For J Hope with high engagement rate, um, and also because of his name, you're probably gonna cost you 3.5 million or something like that, one post, or maybe even more than that. So that's how they measure that is essentially what EMV is. Okay, sorry. Now, if a K-pop star, this is a question essentially they're asking, if a K-pop star posts a photo at a Louis Vuitton show and gets 1 million views, EMV calculates how Louis Vuitton would have had to pay Instagram or TikTok in ad space to get the same 1 million views. Okay. So it treats all the audience um the same. And that's the biggest flaw, because EMV is blind to prestige and context. It treats 10,000 views on a high end luxury fashion blog exactly the same as 10,000 views on a viral meme account. So, for example, if I if I end up seeing the ad, and if Anna Wintour ends up seeing the ad, we're valued the same. My value as an audience is the same as her value as an audience. I think we can all pretty much agree that that is not true. So my fashion opinion is definitely way less than the fashion opinion of Anna Wintour. So um, on the other hand, the MIV is the media impact value. And the philosophy is, did the right people see this ad? Does it protect our luxury prestige? So it puts value to the type of people that actually see the ad. And it is a proprietary data algorithm that was developed by Launch Metrics. So this is kind of younger than EMV, but because it's specific, it gives weight to the type of person that's actually seeing the ad. Then fashion houses kind of value it more now. It was invented because luxury brands realized that EMV wasn't accurate for high fashion because, as I've said, each audience is not weighted the same. So MIV adjusts the dollar value based on who is talking. So a mention from a verified global ambassador or a top tier fashion publication yields a much higher financial score than a mention from a generic lifestyle influencer with the same follower count. So, for example, as I've mentioned earlier, if I say something about a piece of clothing, compare that to what Anna Wintour's opinion is going to be, she's very, very much valued higher than mine. And I'm okay with that. So that is the difference between the MIV and the EMV. Now, um these are the essential difference. So for EMV versus the MIV, EMV is open industry standard metric. It is used across all sectors. It's basically volume and reach, and it often ignores context, and it does not put weight on the person who's seeing the ad and the person who's sharing the ad. On the other hand, MIV is proprietary, and it definitely puts weight as to who is talking. So, for example, if um, I post something that could be worth 1 point, but if Anna Wintour posts something that could be 10,000 points, so there is a difference. That's how they compute the MIV. Okay, so luxury fashion houses analyzing the true impact for them. This is a more like a both are valuable because there is value in letting the public know about what you are talking about. So they're both are valuable. Don't get me wrong. It's just that they serve different purposes. Debak's opinion is way higher than the opinion of the UN Secretary General. His opinion is the most important opinion. Okay, okay, next. So, so that is essentially what they are running after when they create the fashion week. It's the halo effect. A lot of people, and this is why both are important, MIV and EMV, because I might, for example, I might not be able to afford the shoes that they are wearing or the trousers that that guy is wearing or the shirt that that girl is wearing, but because I like the brand, then I might be able to walk into Chanel or Louis Vuitton or Dior or Celine and maybe buy a lipstick because I believe in the brand. Then I can brag that I actually own a Chanel or a Dior or something like that. So that's why it's still important because at the end of the day, remember when I was discussing with you the hero product of CK, at the end of the day, it's still what is being bought by the public, like what is the product that you can actually scale. And even if there are 1 million people who's willing to purchase that purse, they probably will not produce a million of that because it's going to pull down the value, right? But for a lipstick, sure, they can manufacture 1 million of that, 2 million, 10 million. So it's more scalable. That's why both measures are important. Okay. So it's the halo effect. That's what they call it. A cognitive bias where our overall impression of a person or brand or product influence how we feel and think about their specific unrelated traits. Okay. Winter looked like a desperate. Oh my God! Don't use that word. When she interacted with Te and thought that she could exert undue pressure. Well, I don't think that it was really. I think it was more her really wanting. I don't want to look at it this way. I think she was really just. I really want you. Like, if you can. So, and she took her. You got to shoot your shot, right? You need to shoot your shot when you're in an opportunity like that, you need to shoot your shot. And I guess that's what made her successful as an entrepreneur, as an editor, is that she knows when to take the opportunity. She saw V was there, she was right in front of her. So she invited him. It worked. V actually said yes. So you gotta respect the hustle in the woman. Okay. So how do influence get invited? There's actually two ways. One is if it's really no longer about follower counts. It's really more about the algorithm engagement nowadays. So, and then of course the fit, I don't think I'm going to be invited by Mumu because they're more for the younger market, and I'm also not a fashion influencer. But just in case I'm older and they're really catering to the younger market. So they're most likely going to invite the younger influencers. So there are influencers that have been working with the fashion houses for a really long time. So they get invites. There is a fashion influencer in the Philippines. Her name is Heart Evangelista. And she's actually one of the no like she used to be an actress and a singer, and now she's just a fashion not just, but now she's a fashion influencer, and she works with a lot of luxury brands directly. And so she gets the invites directly from them. But it can also be through a PR pipeline. Okay, I don't know if you know this, but you can actually sign up. All of those influencers that would like show boxes and boxes of goods coming from this makeup brand, another makeup brand, and sometimes they get invited to a weekend with so that they can test different and then get massages and they get giveaways and all of those stuff. So the key to that is for you to sign up in a PR list. So those PR companies would send you their goods, those makeup and whatever, on a weekly basis or something, whenever. So they send you those goods. So those are boxes and boxes, and it's packed nice. And then you as an influencer will then have to try that in front of in on your camera, create a video, say something great about it, like, oh, this makeup is good, I'm going to use this, whatever. And then they'll watch your algorithm. If you drive people to their brand or their product, or they see that there is a lot of interaction on your post, then most likely they're going to start giving you preferential invitations. So special, not just PR boxes, but they'll send you invites for their events and whatever. Um, so they now m- that's coursed through the PR company. So if I'm Dior, I can give the PR company, for example, 50 invites, and it will be the PR company's job to distribute it to the influencers that are actually making it work. Now, um, again, I want to encourage you guys, if you are 30, 40 and older, 50 and older, they're looking for influencers in that age range. So you can start your channel. Just I'm sure that some of you actually like doing makeup or whatever. And then you can then um start signing up on different PR lists. And then after that, but the trade-off is that, and I'm hearing this from a lot of influencers. I don't have a lot of friend influencers, but we're kind of in the same space. So we communicate. There are some people that I communicate with. Their complaint is that they're getting so much. Like they are getting so much. Like on a weekly basis, she would get 30 boxes of makeup. And most of that, because it could be, those boxes, right? Like those big boxes, and there'll be like two lipsticks in there. So it's not healthy for the environment, and she doesn't know what else to do with it. She has like a host of different lipsticks, or different types of makeup, and she can't use any of them. She actually started gifting them to other people. And then the other thing is that she can't honestly review them because it was given to her. So she's kind of expected to say positive things about it. So she actually stopped when she started getting like 30 boxes a week. She decided, okay, I'm just going to stop. And she started buying the stuff herself so that she can do an actual review because she was starting to lose credibility. Okay. So it can be through the PR pipeline as well. All right. Now we get to the three. Um, oh, okay. There's one more slide before the three. So who chooses the clothes? The houses will curate a selection of looks from their latest pre-collection or current season, and then they'll when the influencers come to choose their clothing with their stylist, that is the assumption, then they will choose whatever they want to wear. So they can combine, stuff like that. But of course, it is different from, and they have to return that. If you're an influencer, you absolutely need to return those pieces. Okay. Now, of course, it's different when it is celebrities, like, for example, Jimin, V, and J Hope. This is an entirely different game altogether. Okay, so they do have a contract, usually that is um at least during my time, I think it's still the same. It's usually about the first contract is about 2 years. You have extensive activities in the first year because that's when you do the shoot, all of those good stuff. And then the second year is when you just retain them. There is no shoot anymore, but the brand retains the right to continue using the materials that you shot in the first year. Now, that of course can change. For example, for Jungkook, as we know, for CK, they created their own line for him. um for um Lador, they actually created the Angel Muget line for Jimin. I am not sure if Tier Tier has already created a specific line for V, but it seems that they extended his contract, so that's a good sign. So usually those things, as I've mentioned with Jungkook, that's an addendum. If they decided, okay, we're gonna do a capsule collection for you, that's an addendum. So that's an additional payment. That's a different contract. So they use that the contract outlines how many events they have to appear to. That's included in the contract, and that's negotiated. Of course, the more contract the more events you ask them to attend, the more that. Now, it does not, of course, prevent the house from inviting them to more events. You can still invite them. So, um, and then it's just a matter of negotiation, whether it's an extra fee or if they say, "Nah, it's okay. I'm in the event." That's most likely not what's happening. But it's also entirely possible for the celebrity to say, "It's okay. I'm in the vicinity. I might as well attend." Just send me this and that or whatever. But that's probably not happening for BTS. Every appearance is valuable. Okay, so that for big stars, they have a dedicated. Usually, for big stars, they are sent the pieces, but that's reserved to the level of BTS. When Kim Kardashian was still married to Ye West, she was actually the one going to the label, to the fashion house, and then from there she chooses with her stylist. um but for BTS, I'm sure we've heard all of them say, V, J-Hope, and Jimin say that they sent the pieces of clothing. So that means that it is, and Heart Evangelista, also the fashion influencer from the Philippines, also said that it's really different for an influencer like her, because she's not as big as BTS. Then she goes to the house to choose, and then but for others, they get sent the clothing. Okay, and also they do have absolutely veto power. So even if the house says this is what we recommend, they can veto that because they are that big. So the fashion house can say, okay. So for example, Jimin decided to not wear the inner shirt that was given to him last year. So that was his choice. He wanted to do that. And also, they have the option, depending on the piece of clothing that they wore, they do have um, they have the option to actually keep it. So, like what V ended up wearing for Celine in this fashion show, um, he probably had the option of actually keeping it because it's from the new collection. It's not a classic collection, meaning it's not an old piece that they asked him to wear. Now, for example, for Jimin, as far as I understand, they are not this is not the original piece. So there is an original piece which was like 1920s, right? It was like created in the 1920s. But I think the one that they asked him to wear is actually a remake. So they remade the that piece. So they copied it. And the reason I think it is a copy is that if it's the old piece, I don't think they're gonna allow him to wear it in the car and then have him just walk around wearing that. Usually, if it is a classic piece that they're really trying to take care of, they would ask him to wear it when he's about to walk and then take it out after he walks. So but I think as far as I know, it is actually a copy. So if it is a copy, he may have had the opportunity or the option to keep it. Um, if it is a classic one, he was probably asked to return it. I know that Kim Kardashian actually wore the Marilyn Monroe uh, gold gown, one of the most famous gowns. I think this is the gown that Marilyn Monroe wore in the birthday celebration of JFK. So she wore it. So what happened was she was only allowed to wear it, like literally wear it, um, at the foot of the Met staircase. Once she get once she got to the top of the staircase, she had to take it off because it's a classic piece. They cannot afford to lose it or mess it up in any shape or form. So that's what happens when it's like a vintage piece. You're not allowed to wear it for a really long time. So that's why I think it was a copy. I could be wrong though. Um okay, so that is essentially what the fashion week is. I will be discussing the metrics, the EMV and the MIV once it's out. It's not out yet. The fashion week is not out yet. So usually they do a 1 week data generation. So they'll allow this 1 week to actually pass. And then after that, they will collect so they're going to be collecting all the data for 1 week. And then it'll take them another week to do the computation, to write the editorial, to do all of those good things, send it to the houses, and then send it to the public. So it will most likely be like a week from now at the very least. Okay. I read that Jonathan made a replica of Jimin's jacket. Yeah, so I think the one that he's wearing is the replica. There is an original that is not for sale. And then this one is a replica. So every time I wear red, I think about his mom giving him that red jacket. Oh yeah, I remember that story. So for those of you who don't know, the mother of Te, when he came to Seoul to train, she bought him an expensive red jacket and said that, I don't want other people to look down on you. So you need to wear something nice. And it was nice. This is a reproduction. The original has a silk chemise lining. Okay. All right. So I guess I'm right. Yes, it was a duplicate of a very old jacket, but I understand it was made for Jimin and is not part of the collection. It is not part of the collection, which was actually made it funnier because when they did the thumbnail for the presentation, for the video of the entire fashion show, the thumbnail was that jacket, but it's not part of the collection. Still, I wish Jimin had worn a ruffled shirt and jod purse. Is that how it's pronounced? I don't know how it's pronounced. Hessians would have looked nice too. I did ask. So I came from that world as well. So I still have some contacts. I asked their opinion as to why he wore something very, very simple. And I said even his makeup is so understated. His hair was very, very simple. And all of them said the same thing because everyone wants to look at the jacket. Jimin is already a competition in and of itself. Like Jimin himself is competing with the jacket. So if you add more things to that, they're not going to win against Jimin. So you want two main pieces. It's already um like a violation of the golden rule. You don't want two main pieces in one ensemble. But because Jimin, and that goes for any BTS member, of course, but for this specific one, Jimin is already the piece. And then you made him wear something like stunning. Your then that stunning piece is competing with Jimin's attention with Jimin for attention. So the only way they can get around that is to understate it so that you're only looking at two things, Jimin and the jacket. Not true. People were looking at I know, exactly. That's why that is a problem in and of itself already. Like, you cannot not take advantage of Jimin because that's why you signed him up as an influencer. But then how else are you going to pull the attention to the jacket? So then by understating everything else. Okay, questions before we move on to the next topic. Um All right. Debak and everyone. I mean, seriously, she's fashion wreck looking for. I don't know what you're talking about. Are you still talking about um Anna Wintour? No issues. Okay. Freezing. All right. What channel on Twitch are we? Asian EAC. I only wear lipstick occasionally and have sensitive skin. Even some perfume can bring me out a rash or give me a headache. Yeah, I only wear cologne. Thank you, Nadira. Okay. You may not okay. Um I'm looking for question. What okay. I don't I'm looking for relevant questions. All right. I remember the one who rescued Luna when she got sick. Jimin made in 1775. Seriously, as V loves wearing variations of red and he looks good in it. It's his color. She got a lot of backlash for it. What velvet coat Jimin wore, it was a duplicate of the original, correct? It was his choice. I thought it was the stylist to make the jewelry stand out. V has totally been favoring red, his in ear and mic too. It's as I've said, it's his color. He looks stunning in it. I remember the dress event didn't people say that she damaged it? Kardashian. No, she did not. She didn't damage. She was just people made it up because no one could believe that they would actually allow her to wear it. In all fairness to her, she was very careful. In the behind the scenes, she actually published the behind the scenes. Kylie, her sister, wanted so it was in a separate room. It had its separate room, and Kylie wanted to look at it, and she was like, "No, Kylie, you're not going to look at it. I don't care how curious you are. I don't care if you have the money to actually pay for it. If you damage it, you cannot damage it." And so they showed that there was on the foot of the staircase of the Met, they actually had like a curtain around her, and then she wore it there, walked up the staircase. At the end of the on the top of the staircase, there was another like curtain where she can take it off. She took it off and then gave it to the Met directly. Like she didn't even keep it. Um Okay. Questions. Kennedy's birthday. It's funny, I have not watched the show yet. No, he stole the show with that outfit. He did stole the show. Yes, he stole the show. The original is a museum piece. Poor thing was baking like a potato in it with that Parisian hit. Well, he kind of addressed it. Like, yes, it's very hot. And even Anderson, the Jonathan, what's his name? The designer, he also addressed it. They're very aware about what can they do. If Suga was investing in anything by Elon Musk, so what? It's his money. Okay. We'll discuss that. Already co-stars Jimin in the jacket. I don't like his jeans and shoes with it. There's a lot of people who actually said they don't like the shoes. Like there were some who said like, "Oh, it's okay if he wore jeans, but I wished it was a different pair of jeans, not those." Um I think it should have been a ruffled shirt, open halfway down. How did you like Jimin and his grandchildren? Of course, I actually saw the picture with him. Um, he was actually very sweet. He said, and he addressed this in the live stream. He said that, so he was saying, say hi to Cordis. And I think he saw Songyeon making a peace sign, but was kind of shy or something like that. So Jimin actually initiated it and then looked at Songyeon. And I think that's what they captured. It was so hot. Wearing a velvet coat in the heat was crazy. The coat tail was super old. It would have been bad for the heat wave and definitely will break. Jimin's jacket during the fashion show, a model had the jacket with white shirt and Bermuda pants, but I think it was a different one. Like they altered the design. His was almost the exact replica, except for the inner lining. Yes, I was kidding. I only see Jimin. Okay, once you're Jimin, you can't gym out. How much she has to pay to wear it? Kim Kardashian, nothing. She didn't pay. She donated. She donated. but she didn't. So tomato to tomato. She said it was significant. That's how she described her donations. Are any of the members' fashion houses designing any of their tour outfits? No, no word on that yet. Ralph Lauren actually designed one, right? I think the main complication is that they now represent different houses. So if one designer designs it for them, one of the ones that they represent, it's going to violate their contract unless someone designs that is not signed. They were under which they're not signed. So that will probably be safe, and that's been happening. They usually tap a local designer, and then they'll design something for the tour. So that has been happening. Taya had 3 outfit changes for Celine show and post events, all on point. He never disappoints, never ever. Okay. All right. Say bye. Say bye. Say bye bye. Bye bye. Bye 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 bye. Okay. Yes. Okay. Let's continue to the next topic. You want to go out? I think he wants to go out. Give me 1 second. I'll open the door. Okay. That makes so much more sense, but then I can't believe they altered it for her. They did not. They did not alter. Are we talking about Kim Kardashian? She didn't. They did not alter it. She had to. She said she had to go on a crash diet to fit in it because apparently she's Marilyn Monroe is size 8 or size 10 or something like that. So I guess she had a bigger size then. So Jimin is really a leader. He makes decision independently and becomes legendary. I love plaid, especially flannel, but I don't have. Okay, did they have to alter it for her to wear it? No. Okay, let's go to the next topic. I read Kim Kardashian. No, she did not. She didn't damage it. So each house can't design an outfit for their ambassador, would have to do it for the whole group. Otherwise, it won't be cohesive, right? If it's different people, they will have different visions. Unless they have like a theme like that where it's different pieces for each person. That's possible too. Who knows? Okay, apparently SK dispatched a high number of police to the airport because of death threats to the national team. I know, right? It's very sad. Okay, so let's continue with BTS. So BTS beats the Rolling Stone 7-year box score record. They This is for the gross profit of their concert. So according to them, the record of Rolling Stone was established back in 2019, and they clocked in 95 million in August for their tour. That has been broken by more than 30% by BTS, 127 million from May 2 to 28. Okay, so I know that some of you will actually be curious what those are. What are the May 2 to 28 shows? So it included El Paso, Mexico, Stanford, and Las Vegas. Okay. So congratulations to the boys. Now, according to them, so this is the article. According to figures reported to Billboard Box Score, BTS grossed 127.8 million and sold 641,000 tickets over 12 shows between May 2 to 28, repeating as the month's highest grossing and best-selling touring act. Further, the group achieves the biggest monthly gross by a group since the chart began in 2019, surpassing Rolling Stone's 95 million from August 2019. Now, so it's 641 tickets, 12 shows. We're very, very close to 1 million. If not, I think we've pretty much surpassed 1 million. just want to emphasize that when you're looking at box score and Polestar, it does not include the production release of the tickets. Okay. Um, does someone know who's this? Okay. So these are the shows that included that. Stanford, Mexico, and then this there are only 5 other acts who have actually spent more time. So they've spent 4 times. They've been to the top of the monthly box score 4 times. Okay, 4 times only. So only they will get there again. So, but there are only 5 other acts who've spent more time on top of the monthly box score. That would be Bad Bunny with 9 months. So 9 times he's been on top. Um, and then Beyonce, Coldplay, and Elton John with 7 months, and Trans Siberian Orchestra with 5. So now that BTS has gone to 4, by next month they'll probably gonna get to the top again, and they will tie the Trans Siberian Orchestra with 5, and then the number to beat is 9. So they have until 2017 to do that. So we all know that they have schedules up until April of 2017. So I think it's pretty okay. Aren't they highlighting Korean designers? Okay. Next. So also the other thing is that ticket prices are higher across the board in the US. And despite South Korea's hometown advantage, BTS sold more tickets per market in the US with more shows in bigger stadiums. So the tour hit the peak is actually, it does not include Madrid yet, but the peak was actually Las Vegas with 246,000 tickets and 49.9 million at Allegiant on May 23 to 27 and 27 to 28. So that would be 4 shows in Allegiant. And so that would be what? 55, right around 55,000 tickets each night. And this is only 2027. So, and this is only this does not include the production release. So it's most likely around 60 when they include the production release. And we know that they actually release a lot, right? For the production release of the ticket. So this is the top 15. BTS with 127. You have Metallica, Bad Bunny, Bruce Springsteen. I can't believe that No Doubt is actually touring. I did not even know Neo, Luke Combs, George Strait twice. Pretty good. I mean, they're at number 9, 19.9 million. Digit Dosanjh, if you would remember, for those that watch my weekly roundup for K-pop for Asian entertainment, I actually mentioned this guy as one of the names that are being floated around for nominations for the Asia Pop performance category. So he's really pretty big. He's a big Indian star. So number 10 in box score for this month. Romeo Sanos, I don't know who he is. System of Down, I know who they are. Zach Bryan, Florence and the Machine, and Iron Maiden. And then you still have your 16 to 30. So you have Megadeth, Peso Pluma, I know. Tame Impala, I know. Oh, Journey, Ed Sheeran, of course, I know. Iron Maiden. So, okay, Take That. Oh, there are Take That fans here, right? So they're touring, and they ended up in the box score at number 24. What does production release mean? So at the end of, so they have the initial tickets that they release, right? They sell. And then they mark it sold out, and because it's already sold out. But they actually hold um more tickets, and it will depend, the release of that is going to depend on the final layout of the venue, because while they plan, of course, the seats and the arrangement and all of those good stuff, when before they even get to the venue, at when they get there, sometimes they realize, okay, we don't need to block off this area, or we can put more seats in this area so we can release more tickets. It also could be that they're holding some tickets for VIPs, for whatever, for sponsors, and it's not going to be used. Then they release those for sale. That's the production release. No Doubt performed at the Sphere recently. I did not even know. Oh wait, yeah, I kinda have heard about them performing. Me Take That did the circus around UK. Romeo Santos is Latin music. Okay. Um, Songjo, Songjo, Jay Songjo designed the Arirang outfits. Oh, okay. All right. So Nate Bargatze is actually a comedian. He's actually pretty funny. Okay. So that's your top 30 for this month. So congratulations to BTS. All right. Now let's go to the irritating news before we get to the emotional support pictures. But before that, do you have any questions? I assume Korean designers create BTS concert outfits. They do. Dave Matthews Band still doing so well after all these years is pretty cool. It is pretty cool. Journey, for those of you who are interested, this is their final tour. So after this, they're all retiring. So just if they're in your area, you might want to buy tickets. They're retiring after this. This is their last tour. They not kind of they announced it. This is their last tour. Is it true that Toronto venue picked Ed Sheeran for the venue instead of BTS? He doesn't sell that well in the US. It could be true. It could be true. A lot of legacy acts. Most of BTS outfits are created by their stylists. Rainy Morning from the Philippines. Ang ganda talaga ng boses mo. It's just saying that you really have a nice voice like a DJ. Came here because I saw your reaction about SB19 in UTA. Yes. So my favorite Philippine musical act, SB19, got signed by UTA. So for those of you, I'm sure that you saw the announcement, but already took down the live stream. But I'm sure that for most of the people here in this chat are from the US. So you know the impact of that getting signed by the UTA. Okay, so just in case you want to watch Journey, I'll be watching them. So I'm slated to watch Cordis, even though I don't have tickets yet. So I'm slated to watch Cordis. I'm trying to get tickets. Oh, Les SSERAFIM, I do have tickets for that. I'm going to be watching Epic High. For those that are watching Epic High in their LA stop, please let me know. I'll be watching them. And then Journey. Okay, let's go to the irritating news. So they found out that fans are actually putting GPS trackers in the cars of Cordis. And this made the news in South Korea, the daytime news in South Korea, not the daytime news, their primetime news. So um, that it was a shock, and that's why if you noticed, well, they do this. Hybe actually releases a statement quarterly saying that they're going to be pursuing criminal charges, um not just limited to the ones that are harassing them physically, but also everyone harassing them online. Is Epic High standing only concert? No, it's not standing only. It's seated. If it's standing, I wouldn't have gone. Okay, so they actually found out that for Cordis, they've actually been putting tracking devices on their cars. And unfortunately, they don't know when it was actually installed. And Hybe refuses to talk about whether they discovered any other tracking device in anybody else's car or stuff. So if you would remember, for several times already, when Cordis goes to the airport for their departure, they constantly get mobbed by younger fans. And I know that for many fans, they use it as a proof, as a receipt that they are more popular and whatever. Of course, that is not true. Like for many legacy acts, especially for BTS armies, there are people who violate the fandom rule to not approach BTS when they are in the airport. But so there are those that violate it, but for the most part, many are actually holding back. Like they don't even go, right? Because essentially the invitation is extended to the media to appear in this and to select fan bases. So supposedly, if you're not directly invited, you're not supposed to show up. Now, for acts like Cordis, because they have such a young fandom, they do all of this crazy stuff. And so the suspicion is that many fans, or some fans, not many, but some fans have been actually able to put a tracking device on their bags, because they would carry their bag. They have bags with them, and they were, because a lot, several times already, fans have been able to approach them. So yeah. Um, all right. So that's the news for them. They Hybe has refused to talk about that anymore. They said that they've found one tracking device on their car, on Cordis's car, and they're trying to do something about it. They're gonna try and see if they can track the person who did it. How close do they get? Oh, they um someone literally grabbed Kono. Like, she grabbed him, like she was trying to take him home. That kind of, I know I'm not supposed to be laughing, it's not funny, but they've and that happened twice already. Well, that kind of happened to everybody. It has happened to James, it has happened to, but it was so pronounced to Kono because it happened twice. Once when they were very, very new, like barely 2 months old. I think it was their first out of the country engagement. And you know how important for them. I know a lot of people are saying, why do they keep on asking people to come to the airport? That's important for them for their brand deals. That's the opportunity for them to show what they're wearing. The photographers have a good look at them when they're crossing the road, and then they secure their brand deals through that. But the point is that only the reporters and select fan bases are supposed to be there. So it is most likely some of these fan bases actually sell the information to other fans so that they can show up and wait for them. So for Kono, it was traumatic for him because he was so new, he was so young, he's the youngest in the group. And like literally a woman grabbed him. Of course, the bodyguard was actually fast enough, but still, for you to be grabbed like that. Okay. All right. So for now, next news, I'm sure that you've heard of this. So the E News Daily, which is kind of, they position themselves as an economic newspaper, economic centered newspaper. They published a story about Suga, and I intentionally posted this in Hangul so that it's not easy for everybody to understand. But it has something to do with his investment. Okay. So we all know by now, especially for the paid subscribers here, when I do my members only live stream, we all know how savvy they are as investors. They know how to take care of their money. And like other celebrities that, for some reason or another, they're all very educated as to how they invest and how they manage their money. In the live stream of of Epic High, where Suga and RM appeared, they both mentioned that, number one, two things they mentioned there. I'm going to do a separate video for this, but they mentioned several things there. Number one is that they split the income equally when it comes to any kind of performance. I'm assuming that he's referring to performances and not to copy the residuals, not the payment that they receive for their writing. But I think for performances, they just split everything equally. The other thing, Suga said that he actually doesn't spend a whole lot of money. Like he would just invest or save. And that was one of the inspirations was Tablo. He said that the very first time he met Tablo, when he was already BTS, Tablo actually mentioned to him or told him, you have to save money. Like the earnings that you're getting right now is not going to last you forever. So you have to learn how to save money. And that's kind of one of the things that inspired him to start saving and I guess to start investing. We've already learned about Suga's other investment with a fund. a fund, a financial fund, and that fund bought a share of a sports team in the US. We've learned about this. Okay. So now Enos Daily published another story of another investment of his. Okay. And they talked about him investing it several years ago. That company already grew significantly, and they are saying that he hasn't pulled his money out. He has not liquidated his investment. And by the if you compute, they actually did not give specifics as to how much he invested and specifically which month of that year. However, they did make it clear that it wasn't him directly investing. It was not a direct exposure. That's what we call it in financial terms. It's not a direct exposure, meaning when I buy stocks, okay, for example, I buy stocks in I don't know, like Coca-Cola. I have some stocks there. I'm personally buying stocks in Coca-Cola. That is a direct exposure. That's what we call the direct exposure. Okay. So um if I invest there, that's a direct exposure. But if I put my money in a fund, a management fund, then they will be the ones to decide where to invest. I don't really have a say on that. I cannot tell that investment fund, you can't invest there. I don't want you to invest there. Okay, so the fund is actually doing that. All right. Now, the main question a lot of people are asking is, do they actually have the right, Korean media? Do they have the legal right to publish? We're just talking about legal right, not moral right. Just legal right to publish a story about Suga's investment in SpaceX, especially because it's not a investment that was made through Big Hit, for example. Okay. Unfortunately, in South Korea, yes, they do. They have the legal right to publish where he invests. And it doesn't matter whether he's doing it through a fund or if he's doing it directly. But when it comes to his investments, they actually have the right to publish it. Okay. Those are okay. So because, and this is the reason why, this is the reason, because they are public figures. And the idea is that members of BTS are considered ultra high profile figures, meaning whatever they do will most likely affect the other people, either by pushing the value of that stock up or encouraging people to invest. So their influence gives the reporters or the media the right to actually talk about what they are investing in. Now, they cannot, the one requirement is that they do need to obtain those information legally. So they can't steal like what JTBC did for Big Hit back in 2019 when they broke in the office of Big Hit, went through the documents of Big Hit, took pictures, shot a video from the office of Big Hit, all without any permission from Big Hit. They cannot do that. You cannot break into somebody else's property. But if they got it legally through financial filings, through government agencies that have all of this document filed, if they got it through those, then they can publish it. Okay. So they call this legitimate public interest. Okay. They call this, I mean, their investments, wherever any member of BTS invests, they call it legitimate public interest because they're so influential in South Korea. Now, is there like a line that you draw where you can say someone is legitimately public interest or not? No, there is no line. They kind of play it by ear. Like, yeah, it's public. Like that's a legitimate public interest. There is no clear line that you have to cross. They don't say once you reach 100 million in gross profit or net worth, then you're public interest. There is no line like that. Okay. Okay. So the other thing is um Oh, so this is protected. What they did is protected under Article 30. And they call it the public benefit exemption if a report is true, and that is true, or reasonably believed to be true based on credible sources, and is published solely for public interest, it cannot be punished for defamation. So the number one question that people are going to ask is, was it malicious? Like, were they implying that he was a criminal for investing? They did not. They just quite literally said he invested. And that his investment is probably worth more now because the value of the company went up. So they can say, well, there's nothing malicious. It is true. He invested it, or at least they believe it to be true. And for as long as they can provide pieces of evidence to support that, then they are safe. Okay. Also, if it is a positive or neutral news, and when I read the article, they kind of painted him to be a savvy investor, highly savvy, incredibly successful in all the things that that he has been investing in. The only bad news is that from the way that they sound, it looks like they have more information, meaning it looks like they found more investments. Like he actually invested in more companies, and it looks like they're going to be releasing that in God knows when. Okay, so if it is positive or neutral news, you can't sue them for defamation. So, because the story portrays him as a brilliant financial visionary rather than defaming his character or accusing him of an illegal act, there is no legal basis for defamation lawsuit. Okay, so the other thing is that they repeatedly use the alleged or reported phrasing. So they said that according to investment banking sources, reportedly or alleged bet, um, they're safe because they're not making it a definitive statement. Is not a claim to truth. They're saying that they heard, and for as long as they can provide evidence that that actually someone said it, then they're safe. And also because they did reasonable efforts to look for the truth or to get to the truth, because they said that they called Hybe, and Hybe refused, declined to confirm the news because it's something personal. That's what Hybe said. They can't comment because they don't know anything about it because that's a personal venture of Suga. Then they're safe. They said we made reasonable efforts to try and get to the truth, and we got nothing. So unless a story is malicious, entirely fabricated lie to design to destroy an individual's reputation, South Korean media has wide legal berth to report on the business dealings of Global Star. So I think so many of the properties that they owned in South Korea, property documents are actually public. So if they own any property, South Korean media will most likely get a hold of it, and if they want, they can publish it. They are probably, because they already found some traces on Suga, on his investments. I mean, then they're probably gonna try and get more information. Now, the only thing that you can do to sort of not encourage the media from doing it is to not not show any kind of interest in this, because they will stop printing about it if no one is reading it. So okay, Fairly, and I hope those ads are paying you good. I trying to skip them, but 3 back to back is not easy. Every 5 to 10 minutes is every aggressive campaign, but I get it. I hope they really pay. Every 5 to 10 minutes? Are you really? Is it always like this? I did not touch my settings. Oh my god. Is it like, is this the way it is in every live stream? It's always 5 to 10 minutes? Wow. Wow. No, I did not. Oh my god. No, I did not change my settings. I'm going to check, but I did not touch it. Like that has always been the settings. And this is like every live stream. This is how it is every live stream. Wow. Okay, I'm going to check my settings, but I did not touch anything. It should have been like the usual. Um So is there a negative public reaction to his investment? No. The perception, a lot of I mean, there will always be negative reaction to anything that they do. I think that's just something that we need to live with. No matter what they do, whether they sneeze or whatever they do, they will always have there will always be a public outrage over it because they are BTS, right? So, but most of those aren't really coming from armies. They're coming from haters and they just want to make an issue out of nothing. It's an investment. It's an investment. I always say this, like, if I am, never mind them, but if we are going to gauge everything that we do by a strict moral standard, we're just going to have to live in the mountains, grow our own food, construct our own shacks and live there. Because there's nothing we touch and we buy that is not owned by some shady family. So, yeah, no. It's YouTube, not you. I will check. I'm sorry. This is the first time I hear a lot of people complain about the ads. I did not change my settings. But I will definitely check. Okay. I've noticed that YouTube has gotten worse with the ads lately. They're ramping up the amount of ads they put in general, in my opinion. Yes, every live stream unless you get premium. Yes, it's annoying. And here's another one now. I'm so sorry. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. I will check my settings, but I did not change anything. So it should be performing as usual. Okay, so it is none of our business. So I came from that world as well. That's the last job that I had in the financial industry. So that's very interesting for me. But not to the point where I'm going to broadcast it to the world and say like, oh, hey, this is how they do it. Right. It's like to a certain degree, if there is any positive thing about this, is that I hope it will inspire people to sort of get some more information about um how to invest, how to manage their money. Move to an Amish county, nice community by the way. Nice community by the way. Yeah. I've met several Amish. I've been into an Amish like community. They're very nice. They're very polite. They're it's a different world. They're very polite. They're like respectful. Yeah. All right. They want to make us pay for premium. Maybe it is a drive to make you pay for premium. That could be it. All right. Questions about this. Question about the other big news that I was going to share. I actually said this in the roundup is that South Korea, it seems they are actually going to change the rules when it comes to foreign fans buying tickets in South Korea. So I did not know this, but for Enhypen, for Le Seraphim, and I think for Boy Next Door, it could have been or 17, they've instituted a new rule where local fans actually buy the tickets a day in advance, and then foreign or international fans can buy the ticket a day after. And so even before, because Stray Kids is going to implement it in this tour that they have, but even before they did it, they actually Hype did it for Le Seraphim, for Enhypen, and I think for TXT as well. So um, it seems that that is not by choice. This is not the agency or the artist choosing it to do it this way. It's actually mandated by the Ministry of Tourism and Sports. So I don't know. I'm sure that you've actually gotten the notification by Weavers that they will be renewing the global membership this July, right? If you haven't seen it, they've actually made an announcement that they will be instituting that. They will be renewing global membership this July. Okay. So I don't know if it has anything to do with that new rule that the ministry is implementing, that they have to prioritize local fans in Korea before they release it to international fans. Now, um, they did it in the US. Remember, for J Hope, was it? For J Hope, they released it for US fans only. The US dates were released for US fans only. They did not do that for Jin, but they did it for J Hope. So they tested it for J Hope, and I guess I don't know if they felt that it was unfair or whatever, but eventually they opened it for everybody else. But here, it is not. They're doing it because it is mandated by their government. Okay. So now, I, of course, personally, selfishly, I don't like that because I'm an international fan and I like buying concert tickets in Korea because there's always like, it's always different when they are home, when they're back home, when they're doing the concert back home. Um, so yeah, let's see what's going to happen. US memberships, not US fans, not the same thing. Well, yeah, yes, US memberships, not US fans. But you have to have US address and US phone number. That's probably what keeps causing the buffering issues. My ad blocker working. Okay, it didn't stop the scalpers here. Yeah, so they're saying that they are trying to do something about the scalpers because there are a lot of foreign scalpers that are actually getting a hold of the tickets and then selling it for a higher price. And so I thought, like, so you want the scalpers to be Korean? You don't want foreign scalpers. You want Korean scalpers instead. Because if there's anybody who's going to benefit, might as well make it Koreans, right? Right. Okay. So, but anyway, that's the big news. Let's see what they're going to be doing. I think they're going to have an encore in South Korea. They might have another concert in between or make like a special event in between, but let's see. Okay. Won't it stop foreigners from getting tickets? It might already run out by the time that, for example, for a group like BTS, the problem is that by the time that it's our turn to get tickets, it's probably going to be sold out because they're such a big act. So everybody in Korea would want one. That or that the scalpers are now going to be Koreans instead of Chinese. I'm kidding. Okay, instead of other countries. Okay, any question? SK is not the only option for Chinese fans. They have multiple options in Southeast Asia, including Taiwan. During J Hope concert tour, um, I lost the of Korean tickets. Okay. After J Hope's photo, a lot of hate is happening. A lot of hate is happening. So does that mean I can't have global membership? I use it to get items faster since US usually ships later. No, you can still have your global membership. You can absolutely still have your global membership. So they don't want international fans to come to Korea. Well, that's one of the criticisms that others have about the rule is that given that, like for example, if you are a BTS fan, if you're an act like BTS, based on their statistics, on the numbers that they release for Busan, like 75% or half are actually foreigners. So you're essentially, and that of course, foreigners are going to be spending way more money in South Korea, right? And so they're saying that you're essentially discouraging tourism this way because a huge chunk of those people that are going to come to Korea and will be staying longer will be coming here for concerts. So if there are less tickets for them, there are less people that will be coming to Korea. Koreans already had an advantage of no 10 minutes limit, correct? Are there any tickets for Los Angeles? I want in September. Um, we have a list of tickets that people that are selling. I'm surprised they're willing to forego the money the BTS tourism will bring. So am I. I'm also surprised. And then I think I've already mentioned that the tickets for live viewing for Buenos Aires will be available. So that's going to be in theaters and it's going to be streamed as well. So turn on your notification. Do I have anything here? Okay. So we have 30 minutes. Let's get to emotional support. I'm surprised they're willing to forego the money, the BTSers, and they want them to come and spend money. That was a stupid thing. Let's see how far they're gonna go. I think eventually they're gonna realize, wait a minute, we're trying to, the whole point of this is that you're going to ask people to come to your country and spend money. So let's see how far they're gonna go with this. Okay, so this is the official photo released by BTS, released by Big Hit. But apparently I haven't seen it, but apparently V posted another version of this where they have wackier expressions on their faces. I haven't seen it. So, but anyway, okay. I'm irritated. Show me the pics, please. Okay. I thought because we are going to be coming from two bad news. Well, three. That would be the GPS tracking device on the cars of Cordis, and then Big Hit not refusing to comment whether they found tracking devices on other cars. Um, the investment of Suga, and also the tickets. Those are three bad news. So I thought I'm going to give you J Hope first. Because his pictures are going to put you in a very good mood to end this live stream. Um, has an issue with who has an issue with J Hope's photo? Probably the ones that can't have J Hope have an issue with the photo because they're looking at something that they don't have. How is that? Okay. So when I saw this picture, the only thing that came into my mind is that we have a new Edward Cullen. That's his name, right? For what's this vampire story? This is perfect for J Hope. Head to toe, every inch, every millimeter, perfect for J Hope. This he whoever designed it got it. Like may he live for 100 years healthy and happy because it was on point. Okay. Here's another picture. He's not happy. I think he's in the middle of his rap, but I'm going to put it on screen a little while longer because you guys like it. That is Jay, correct. That is Jay, not J Hope. I heard even AI was glued on the screen. He looks badass. Did we talk about JK's live? No, I have, but actually the one presentation that wouldn't upload was my summary of the live stream of the four members. Well, initially four, and then they became five when Jungkook joined, and then his own live stream. So I'll do that on the Wednesday live stream. Okay, J Hope has left the building. We now have J. Yeah, J Hope has left the building a long time ago. He's gone. Jay has definitely taken over. Okay, one more. I'm waiting for JK's chest reunion with Army. Okay, so there's your Jay, another picture of Jay. I'm gonna put it there for a little while longer because he's gonna put you in a good mood. Jay is insane. Adonis J Hope. Okay, one more. He's not happy. I also love this one. That I mean, is so on point. Really, Twilight, probably more like Lestat. Oh yeah, that's good too. In Interview with a Vampire, he's just so young though, and I mean, he looks way younger than his age. He doesn't look 30. He looks like 25 at most. He looks so young. J Hope hasn't been around since Killing It Girl. True, true. JK always JK always getting drunk. I understand his logic. Usually you get drunk with close friends since Army are his closest friends. Correct. That's what Europe summer will do to him. Remember Hobie Palooza in Berlin. True. You have a point. Okay. He went inside, like for the rest time. He went inside just to oil his abs. And they went back out to perform. I hate to say this. I love it when he's not happy. Okay, more not happy J Hope here. Okay. Are you going to put these pictures in Patreon? Yes, I'll put these pictures on Patreon. Okay, more J Hope. They have a penchant for blackening their own eyes. J Edward. He really looks like he is feeling it lately. It's great to see. Is he greasing his abs? Um, no, I don't think he's greasing his abs for this tour, but definitely for Hobie Palooza. He went inside just to grease his abs and then went back outside to perform. I'm like, okay, I get the point. Let me be the oiler. I wonder if High will hire an oiling employee. I hope JK does not get criticism due to some minors being in the live stream. Yeah, I think it's fine. He was just drinking. He wasn't like getting pissed drunk. Okay. I mean, look at that. What was he even thinking? Uh, J2000, amazing. Jeez, salute. Well said. So yes, I'm going to be putting that on Patreon. Love his expression. Will you send us this picture? Yes. Hobie just trying to kill us all. Killing it, girl. Killing the girls. Okay, look at that. Yeah, look at that. I don't know what's he's thinking. I'm sure he knows that armies won't survive it. Okay. He's not thinking, he's feeling. Okay, just a little bit to put you a little just on a relaxed state for the last picture. There's J Hope in another outfit. Okay. Enter the J. I saw that J went and sat in the closet at one point. Yeah, so he actually went inside the closet. I thought he was trying to turn it into gold for his golden closet. Um for his yeah. So yes, he did. He also opened a bottle of beer using his phone. He did a lot of things. A lot of things. My blood pressure went up. Okay, so say hi to Te. It was warm in Berlin last year too. He was sweating a lot. Um, I need to make pillowcases out of these Hobie pictures. Stuttering Miss Fairlane. I think the word drunk is a bit of an exaggeration if you ask me. For JK, yeah, he was just drinking. It wasn't anything. JK is an adult. It's up to him to parent the children. I parent my children. Yeah, I actually thought that he was overly considerate in that live stream. He was like, someone was saying, I'm vegan. And like, so what if you're vegan? He's eating his food. I mean, he's not insisting that you eat his bacon. So I find that, and he said like, okay, I'm gonna try not to show it to you. I thought that was overly considerate. If that was me, I was like, okay, then don't eat my food. I'm not gonna, but I have the right to eat my food. You have the right to be vegan. So, but the mere fact that he himself thought, he actually said, okay, I'm not gonna show it to you on camera. I thought it was overly considerate. It was so nice. Okay, say hi to Te. How do you open a bottle of beer? Well, he did it. He absolutely did it. Okay. Here's another set of pictures that are set to actually end you. Okay, that's your first set. Eating his bacon, rolling over here. JK lives are making me fall in love with him. He's so cute. Very, very cute. Um, Reg Pair, absolutely asinine that he has to admonish the children spamming his lives. Yeah. Okay, we'll talk a little bit more about JK when we get to him. Okay. Um that's your first V picture, second V picture, third V picture. He's going to escalate. But I love this picture, by the way. I absolutely love this picture. Okay. Next. Are you seeing a pattern? It's all biceps. When the fandom sent it to me, the file was literally named biceps. And had I not recognize the email address, I would have like, who's this pervert? I was like, what biceps? Is this weird? And then I saw it's like, okay, these are concert pictures. Okay, biceps. Okay, no biceps here. Is phone rushing to sign JK with a new can opener? How? How did he open the bottle of beer with his phone? Ah, I am not gonna try it. That's for sure. Okay, more. Let's concentrate on V. Okay, V. Sweaty biceps. My take: don't look and let him eat and and live his life. Correct. I agree. Say that louder for the people in the back. Okay. All right. More biceps now. So this is sound check. This is his sound check. There you go. That's your superstar biceps. Love the red drink with red mic and in ears. Shelly and KM Sunshine, it is getting awkward. Can we chill, please? Shelly and KM is getting awkward. What are they saying? Okay, I'm not seeing everything. It's too fast for me. Because I'm seeing everything. The messages from X, all of everything. So, from Twitch. Okay. Huh? I think I uploaded an incomplete file. There's supposed to be one more. Okay, there's RM. What is the star for with the yellow border? The star for with the yellow border? The summer in Europe letting us enjoy biceps and chests. V is really into headbands lately. I think I should have had like two more pictures of V, which makes me think this is an incomplete file. But anyway, it's still a lot. So let's just enjoy whatever it is that we can enjoy. Okay, there's your RM, very cute RM. He saw a sign saying, RM, you're my right person at the right time. That's cute, right? So he was like, he was smiling. I think he saw it during the um, sound check. So there was a fan who made a huge, huge banner, RM, you're my right person at the right time. Okay, some people tried and broke their phone. Okay, more drinking RM. So if you're wondering, so usually when these fan bases send it to me, it has a theme. They're like, here's your action shots RM or drinking RM, sitting down RM or meant RM, something like that. Okay. By the way, congratulations again to RM as Global Ambassador for the Korean National Museum. Yes. But the other side said RM stop being so sexy. That's it. Oh, I did not see that. They did not. The fan base did not show me that. Only the first part. Next time would be somebody from Cordis. Okay. Next, drinking RM. That's why it's usually the same theme because that's how they send it to me. Sometimes it's by day, like this is day one, day two, day three. Okay. Yeah, I think that I uploaded my draft file because there isn't supposed to be a gap. There's supposed to be more pictures of him. Okay, did you get moderators, Miss Fairlane? I have not. No, I haven't had a. I'm so busy. I haven't had a chance to get to a lot of things, but I will get to it. Carla, and yes, he mouthed, I like it when he saw it too. Oh, really? He did? Okay, okay. So he liked it. Shelly Thompson, Ophelia isn't being controlled. It's just that these side debates can be a bit distracting. Okay. This is Jin. I wonder what they are drinking besides water. Is it energy drink, fruit drink, etc.? So curious. My guess is you know how those energy powder drinks that you just pour into the water. My guess is that. So I did ask my someone I know how they actually arrange it, because it seems that so they open like a cooler, right? Right. And so I was thinking, like, does anybody just grab whatever? So the cooler actually is divided into who those are, so that they're not picking somebody else's drink. Now he said that if they're picking up somebody else's drink, then they don't know, like they have no control over that. They try their best to sort of organize it per person. So every set of cooler in front, in every side of the stage, each cooler would have at least two for each member. Okay. And that gets replenished. I think they switched from plain water to electrolytes. Yeah. Okay. Uh hmm. No. Okay. So I think I really uploaded the wrong file. Maybe because I only have, like, it's supposed to be like about 100 pages and it's not. So I apologize. I'll just make it up next time. But let's enjoy whatever it is that we have. Okay, Suga is here. Love all of them, but I do have a sweet spot for rappers JK, Jin, Jimin, and V. Okay, J Hope confirmed in a live that confirmed in a live that is what he drinks. He said he cannot eat before a concert and relies on energy drinks. Okay. I wonder if they can drink whiskey, just Suga during his D-Day tour. Suga is a freak of nature. Is a different animal altogether. Okay, more sugar for you. This pics are great. I'm so glad to see everyone finally going, "Hey Namjoon." He's like everyone else. I'm like, yeah, so it took you so long. Okay. More sugar and more sugar. I love it whenever they give me pictures of him, like like performing in the, like in the middle, spitting his bars or dancing or jumping around. Okay, more sugar. I know that there were questions about this. So the jersey that he's wearing hasn't been released yet. So they actually, he was the one who released it. Basically, he dropped it. Yeah, there's a jersey, and the team actually released a statement saying yes, it hasn't been released, but now that Suga has released it, then we guess it's officially released. It is that jersey. Um, do you have Suga in plain white tank? Yes. I posted a teaser in Patreon. I'll do it next. Yes. So it's this the sports jersey, the sports t-shirt. It's not supposed to be released yet. Now that's Savage mode. All the sports press in Spain were talking about it. Correct. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that when he wore it, he was aware of it. So he probably, like, that was probably part of the plan. I don't know how they can wear jackets on those hot stages when they are doing so much dancing. It looks like he's having so much fun. Nadira, yes, a wrecker for sure. Okay. So more so these are the pictures of him that I really love. Like in the middle of spitting his bars or dancing. Absolutely love him. Okay. More of him. Not happy. I love his hair. Yes. So we actually saw two sets of foreheads, Jimin and this. Because Jimin has brushed his hair back. Great piece of marketing. They're going to sign a player who appeared on Switch Suchuita, and they released the jersey on the biggest stage. I am on Football X and it cost me ruckus. So yeah, the other bad news. Okay, we'll talk about that. Maybe we'll have like a minute or two to after they finish. Oh, sorry. Um, After we finish this, we'll talk about the football situation and the J Hope situation, Jungkook situation. Okay, Jimin. This is weird. Okay, yeah, Jimin, Jimin. Okay. Yeah, I missed so many. Okay, say hi to Jimin. No, late to Namjoon. If they have fake piercings, how do they stay on when they dance and run around? It's pretty sticky. It's pretty sticky. Jungkook wore it for a bit before he actually got an actual piercing. He's truly gorgeous. I miss Jin in Pick Guffs. Where are they heading to Paris? Even hotels have no AC. In Paris? Hotels have no AC? That is horrible. So you can't go there. I can't go there during the summer. Okay. More Jimin. Enjoy the biceps. He's ripped. Jimin is ripped. I don't know what kind of workout he's doing, but he's ripped. He did say that he doesn't usually do the same workout as the other guys because his routine, I don't know what you call it, like his routine is designed for dancers. So, but whatever is actually, whatever he is using, I mean, whatever workout routine he's doing is working really, really well. Because it's ripped. My gosh, look at that. Look at the definition of his biceps. And then if you cover if you cover the body and just look at the face, you will not expect that that's the kind of body that goes with that face. He has a great body, yeah. And I love this set of pictures. He was throwing water to the audience, blessing armies. That's what they said on the news. With the heat wave, tourists are having problems. He's so ripped and veiny. High end hotel 5 stars have air conditioners. The duality. Yeah. So I love this set of pictures, but I think I may have put it out of order. But he was yeah, he was blessing armies. There's a better pick here. There. This is my favorite one. He looks so happy with his life, and he said that he is very happy. Okay, and then you have your Lador Jimin with gorgeous hair. Oh, by the way, the so I'm waiting for the shampoo because the Lador shampoo that I'm using right now actually works so well with my hair. I have my problem is falling hair. So, like I shed like a baboon on chemo, but this one actually works so well for me. So I've used it. So the Lador one, the Osmanthus shampoo, but then the one that he just released is Angel Muget. So I'm waiting for it to be available here, and I'll start using that. Um, what a picture! Jimin has always had amazing arms. So when it becomes available, I am yet to visit the Olive Young in here. It opened in Pasadena. I'm yet to visit, but okay. I'll see if it's already available there. Okay, more of Jimin. I was in Paris twice, and both hotels had AC. Okay, I love this picture. I just love the way that the wind blew the skirt, scarf, whatever that is. I use the Lador Root Reboot shampoo, and it's good. It is good. It's really good. I really love it. So I just need to learn how to stop. So I usually shower, and it's my full bath. That's my that's the shower that I have before bed is my full bath, and I sleep right after. I need to learn how to blow dry my hair before I sleep so it's not flat. I miss Jin in the pictures. I know I only had like 4 for Jin. I'm sorry. I wasn't able to. But anyway, next time. Let's just enjoy what I managed to upload. Okay, Jungkook. Have you tried Jin's shampoo? I have not. I'll try it. Lucida one is quite good. I'll try it. I've not. Okay, there's your a sneak peek of his biceps and sorry, his chest and his abs. So this is during the sound check, and this is the same ensemble that he wore for his live stream. Okay. a little of his back. They are staying at the top tier hotel, as they should. Basically, the kind that if you have to ask for the price, you can't afford it. Okay. So I learned about it because I saw on Jimin's vlog for getting ready that his hotel is like something Bristol or something like that. So I was checking the price, and there was no price. So that means I can't afford it. And they said, so I was informed that this is actually above five-star hotel. So there are five-star hotels, and then there are hotels like this. So that's kind of where he stayed. This is for his fashion week. Um, so yeah, and it looked like, of course, he was checked in a suite. Okay, Jungkook, one of the things that he actually said during his live stream was that he wanted to be more manly in the way that he, like his mannerisms, like the way that he moves and stuff like that. And then he was informed that he had been sitting with his legs together for since the beginning of the live stream. And it was like it's just comfortable. Well, I guess that's the new manly pose, Jungkook. Yeah, he was so funny during that live stream. Okay. All right. That is him. That is him. That is our Jungkook. I was like, is this Suga? No, but that's in. I have to go now. Good night, Lisa. More of the abs. Here's your abs before you go, Lisa. I can't go to Paris in summer. Okay. And then more abs for him. These are all his line, by the way. The jeans, the underwear, and the shirt and the jacket. That's from his own line. And then him in the middle of dancing. Okay. And more JK. Okay. So that I think it's 2 hours now, 2 hours and 2 minutes. So I will continue with, we'll discuss the live stream that they did, the four of them that became five, and then Jungkook's live stream. We'll do the updates next week. I'll continue with Cat's Eye, Le Seraphim, and then some more girl group news. And then if there's any topic you want me to cover for the next live stream, let me know. I just have some errands that I need to run, some family stuff that I need to run, and then I'll see you Wednesday. Bye.